Happy trade deadline eve, and appropriately enough, we have a trade. Kyle Kuzma heading to the Milwaukee Bucks, Khris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, but that's not all. There's a lot of detail to this trade that's easy to miss. So let's dive into what this trade really means for the Wizards and the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to the channel. Keep you up to date. Heading into the trade deadline right now, only about 20% of you are actually subscribed to the channel. Other 80%, do me a favor, hit that button. Do yourselves a favor, too. I think you'll enjoy it here at the Basketball Bulletin. All right, here's the deal. Shams Charania saying the Bucks sending Khris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, the 2024 23rd overall pick. So less than a year ago, 23rd pick. That's a first rounder on a pick swap to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin, and second round draft compensation. So you're giving up a first round pick in A.J. Johnson. You're giving up a pick swap, and you're getting Kyle Kuzma, who's not had a great season. If you look at Kyle Kuzma over the course of the season, certainly not what he's been for his career. Kyle Kuzma, 15.2 points per game this season, shooting just 28% from three, 42% from the field, both career lows, grabbing 6 boards. And again, the points down this year compared to the last couple of years. He's been a 22, 21 point per game scorer over the last 2 seasons. Not so this season. Minutes also down for the Washington Wizards. So why are the Bucks giving up seemingly so much to get Kyle Kuzma? Well, part of this, Khris Middleton has been coming off the bench for them. Look, he's been a big part of the Bucks for a long, long time, but he's getting up there in years, 33 years old, not the player that he used to be. The Bucks deciding it's time to move on, but it's not just that the Bucks are getting out of this deal. And there's a reason why they're giving up so much. And this is what that is. Bobby Marks explaining that this trade features Kyle Kuzma reducing a portion of his trade bonus, and the reduced trade bonus allows Milwaukee to stay below the second apron. Now, why does that matter? Because they were a second apron team, and there are certain things that you are not able to do if you're a second apron team. Now you've got Milwaukee able to aggregate salaries in a trade. In fact, in order to complete this trade, because they aggregate salaries, Khris Middleton and A.J. Johnson, this trade had to drop them below the second apron. But this is a big deal because if the Bucks want to make another move after this and they want to add up salaries, let's say you want to do, I don't know, Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis together in a trade or something like that. Now the Bucks have the ability to do that, whereas prior to this trade, they did not. So this is not just about getting Kyle Kuzma in this deal and the second round draft capital that's going to come back. This is about having the ability now to aggregate salaries in a trade, something the Bucks could not do previously, and this could put them in the mix for a bigger move ahead of tomorrow's trade deadline. So again, this is a multifaceted deal for the Bucks. They're getting a younger player, a player that they believe in, a player that they think will bounce back in their system, even though he's had a disappointing season so far, but they are also dropping below that second tier apron, which is, again, such a big deal for the Bucks. Now, that's not all, though. That's not all. We got to take a look at what this means for the Washington Wizards. We'll get there in just a moment. First, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. They do a fantastic job. Prize Picks does. Super fun to play. Daily fantasy sports. And if you use our promo code, let me pull that up here. If you use our promo code Bulletin, you get a guaranteed $50 on your first $5 played over at Prize Picks. And I'm putting the link in the description down below. I made some picks here already. Steph Curry, I like him to go over more than 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I like Devin Booker, more than 26.5 points. There's a bunch of Kevin Durant rumors right now. Could KD be back to Golden State? My goodness. Either way, it looks like he's doubtful to play in tonight's game for the Phoenix Suns, which means Devin Booker is going to get all the shots. And then the Patrick Mahomes free square. I love all the promos that Prize Picks does. 0.5 passing yards. Well, we know Patrick Mahomes is going to get that. So that's a freebie. And if I win on this one, it'll be $50. $50 guaranteed to win. If I'm right on these picks. So go check out Prize Picks. Use the link in the description down below. Give them a look, everybody. We appreciate it when you support the companies that help support us on this new channel. All right. So this is more than, of course, just a deal that helps out the Milwaukee Bucks. This is something for the Washington Wizards as well. So what are the Wizards getting out of this? Well, of course, you're getting the pick swap. That certainly is something that'll be attractive to the Washington Wizards. Now, pick swaps are an all or nothing situation. It could be something. It could be something really valuable. It also could be nothing. It could be nothing at all. So that's something to remember. It's a bit of a risk reward there with the pick swap. But they also get A.J. Johnson, another young player to add to their team. But here's the other thing. Washington very well may not be done. Washington may not be done with this because they don't have to keep Khris Middleton. Khris Middleton doesn't make any sense right now on their roster. You can see Middleton, though, has $34 million dollars on a player option. They can turn around and retrade him to another team. They just have to send him out by himself in a deal. The other thing that Washington can look to do here is hang on to him until the summer and then use him as an expiring contract in a trade. But for Khris Middleton himself, the veteran, he would like to move on and get to a team that can contend. Washington, if they can repackage him in a deal or put him in a new deal, he'd have to go by himself. I'm sure they will look to do that. Will they buy him out? It's pretty tough usually for a team to buy out a player with a second year under contract, $34 million. But obviously, Khris Middleton, this trade is not about getting Khris Middleton for the Washington Wizards, not at all. They are very much a rebuilding team trying to tear it down. Maybe we'll see a Malcolm Brogdon trade coming now because Malcolm Brogdon is certainly a player that also doesn't make sense for this Wizards side that has the worst record in the NBA right now. And they should be looking to just accumulate future assets, and that's it. Another player to keep an eye on, Jonas Valanciunas. He's been involved in a bunch of trade rumors. He was signed in order to be traded by the Washington Wizards. They signed him specifically so they could use him as a trade chip. He has $9.9 million under contract this year, $10.4 million after that next season. And then you've got a $10 million non-guaranteed third year on the contract for Jonas Valanciunas. So the Washington Wizards are not done, but now they get a look at A.J. Johnson, a first rounder for Kuzma. You get the pick swap, which again could be something valuable. Not valuable if in the season of the swap, the Wizards are better than the Bucks, but still that could be something that is a valuable, or flip that, the Bucks are better than the Wizards, then it would not be something of value, but it could also be a lot. You get that first rounder in A.J. Johnson, and then they finally move on from Kyle Kuzma, who's been in trade rumors forever. But this is now an opportunity, too, for the Wizards to turn their focus to Brogdon, turn their focus to Valanciunas, maybe try to reflip Khris Middleton. Marvin Bagley has popped up in trade rumors as well. I think the Wizards are not done. We're going to see a little bit more magic out of them. I think at the trade deadline, they'll try to move some of these other guys and get future assets, and we'll see what they can accomplish on the market with their veterans, because they don't need those guys. They're losing plenty of games right now. There's teams that will have interest in those players, and if they can turn them into anything to help build their future, that's going to be beneficial to Washington. But there it is, another trade in the NBA. It's been an eventful trade deadline already. This has been fantastic. Give me your thoughts on the trade in the comments down below, and go check out our latest on the Kevin Durant trade front. Go ahead and click on that one right now.